Our BCSF Minister's Assistant in Charge of Youth Ministry, Camille Pading Sensei, will now introduce our Dharma Talk speakers for today.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Dharma School Teachers Sunday, Pet Memorial Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I hope that you all are happy and well in Amida's light and staying healthy. Today, I'm happy to introduce our two speakers, Kelli and Sara. For the past 18 months, Kelli and Sara have been studying in a religious awards class for high school students. The students who graduate from this class earn a Padma Award for Girl Scouts, a Sangha Award for the Boy Scouts, and a Dharma Award for non-Scout students who are members of our Sangha. In the last 18 months, Kelli and Sara have been studying General Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, Buddhist history, and Buddhist cultural arts. Today, we will be their audience for their final exam. They have both written original speeches in which they will address the prompt, which is to speak to an aspect of Buddhism that is meaningful to you and the Scout Law. We will have Kelli speak first, immediately followed by Sara, and then I will give a closing comment. Please welcome Kelli, followed by Sara.
Hello, my name is Kelli Matsumura, and I am a senior Girl Scout here at the BCSF. I am a student at St. Ignatius College Prep. Today I want to talk about what we in Scouting call the Girl Scout Law. As many of you know, the Girl Scout Law is a guide in which Girl Scouts agree to live by, as well as apply to everyday life. For me, the Girl Scout Law very closely parallels what we call in Buddhism Amida's golden chain of love, which we chanted earlier. If you regularly go to temple, you know very well the verse, I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love. But I want you to pay close attention to the correspondence between the two. Notice the last line of both the Girl Scout Law and the golden chain. To make the world a better place and be a sister to every Girl Scout. And may every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. It may be easier to understand these concepts through a lens in which everybody has experienced, COVID-19. I still remember the day the deans announced over the speakers that we would not have school for the rest of the week due to rising COVID-19 cases. It was the day before my first track meet for pole vaulting. Most of my friends were really excited that school would be canceled for the rest of the week, and if we were lucky, 2 weeks. That aged well. I specifically remember my friend Kylie and I were kind of sad that school got canceled because we were excited about our first high school track meet. But we figured it is what it is, it's only 2 weeks, and we went on with our lives. The adjustment to online classes was surprisingly easy, as our school already requires iPads or laptops for most assignments. However, as time went on and quarantine and Zoom became the new norm, it became harder and harder to find motivation for things. Every day felt the same. Wake up, eat, go on Zoom for 5 hours, do homework for another 2 hours, eat, sleep, repeat. It felt like a never-ending cycle. Oftentimes, my friends would invite me to hang out and form a COVID bubble with them. A COVID bubble that is being exposed to them for a long enough time period where a bubble is established because you hang out with the same people often. But a lot of the time, I couldn't go because of the shelter-in-place order. I knew that going out obviously did not help the COVID situation, yet I couldn't understand why I couldn't hang out with my friends. This can be seen through the lens of the Four Noble Truths, which simplified spells out Buddhist teachings of the existence of suffering, the cause of suffering, and the end of suffering, which is a path known as the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path calls us to live a life of right view, right thought, speech, conduct, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and meditation. In relation to the pandemic, The Four Noble Truths calls us to reflect on the current situation. We know there is obviously suffering happening in our world right now. And the root of this suffering stems from our attachments of the three poisons, which are greed, anger, and stupidity. The hardest aspect of the Four Noble Truths to comprehend in accordance to our lives is not the path we must follow, but it is in recognizing what's holding us back. For me, these attachments can come in the form of wanting to see our friends, going out, not wearing masks, or for some people, even wanting to go to work to make money. The key is in recognizing these attachments. For example, during shelter in place and the whole friend group bubbles, I used to get so mad when all my friends would hang out and I couldn't go out. I was so frustrated that my friends formed their little COVID bubble and I couldn't be a part of it because my parents were more at risk. My ego was telling me that something so exciting or so big would happen and I would miss out on it. But after a while, I realized that wanting to be included was my attachment. I realized that I was creating these crazy unlikely scenarios out of fear that I would lose my friends. I was so attached to our specific friend group, and seeing them all hang out without me made me feel like I was always missing out. The Buddha once said that the two most difficult sufferings that we face in life are having to be separated from the people that we love and having to spend time with the people we don't like. Looking back, I realized how crazy it was for me to think that just because I couldn't hang out with my friends during the pandemic, that the friendship would die. And there are still many ways I connect with my friends, whether it be through FaceTime, text, or socially distant walks. That's when I started to become so grateful for everything I already have in my life. Amazing friends, loving parents, a house to live in, a good school, good health. And when I started to reflect on all these good things, I realized, what am I even worrying about? I have so many good things in my life. Sometimes, when we fail to realize our attachments or ego, we let it consume us, and we forget about everything good that we have. Once we become aware, we can then choose to change our perspectives. The Girl Scout law says that I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong. Buddha's golden chain of love says, I must keep my link bright and strong. Be kind and gentle to every living thing. Think pure and beautiful thoughts. Protect all who are weaker than myself. Everyone lives out Buddhist teachings every day, regardless if you are Buddhist, Catholic, atheist, a Girl Scout, a Boy Scout. Taking these teachings in context with today's world, this means being a bright link in Amita's chain of love. This means being a sister to every Girl Scout. There are infinitely many ways you can do this. Last Saturday, I volunteered at the San Francisco Marin Food Bank with the Junior IBA. We spent a few hours making grocery bags, which may seem like a simple job, but it has a huge impact on the community. The grocery bags were delivered to seniors and at-risk people who can't afford to go out of their house for grocery shopping. So just by doing little things in your community, you can help make Amita's golden chain of love brighter and stronger and make the world a better place. We should be kind to others, know that everyone deals with suffering, and that sometimes we need to experience that suffering in order to make room for all the good things to come. Because we can't truly be free until we are willing to open our hearts and share that love with others. Thank you. Now for my sister's speech. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sara Matsumura, and I'm a senior Girl Scout. And today I will be talking about an aspect of Buddhism that is important to me and relates to the Girl Scout law. One line in the Girl Scout law that has always stood out to me is the very last one that says, I will be a sister to every Girl Scout. One of the reasons why this line is so significant to me is because I did become sisters, not just with my troop, but with the younger and older girls. The foundation of Girl Scouts is all about becoming independent, compassionate people while bonding and forming a sisterhood. Learning to not only work with other girls, but also seeing their faults and strengths as they grow up with you, overcoming challenges, creates a sense of family. It is so empowering to feel connected with a group of people, especially with all the division going on in today's world, through politics, discrimination, economic crises, and the loss of thousands of lives due to the coronavirus. Whenever I think about the last line of the Girl Scout law, I think about how everything is connected and how there's impermanence. Buddhism is all about recognizing that there's suffering, but with these girls, I was able to form connections and learn lessons that helped me through life suffering. Girl Scouts really helped me become the person I am today. I go to a private Jesuit high school, and when I first went there, I felt like I didn't have very many friends because everyone knew each other from grammar school, and I was coming from a public middle school. I only knew a handful of people, but over the course of the year, I met many amazing friends. Freshman year, I was solely focused on making as many friends as possible and having a good time. But the political debates and events that occurred during sophomore year really forced me to reevaluate the morals of myself and my friends. Everyone at my old school was very progressive and liberal in their thinking, and I didn't even think I needed to focus on politics at such a young age. But as the current events were talked about around school, I learned that many of my new friends came from very conservative families. This troubled me because I always viewed conservative people as evil with no morals. So I thought to myself, how could I have made friends with people who support our previous president, whom I've heard such terrible things about? How did this reflect on me as a Girl Scout and a Buddhist? I have learned that many people think that there are only two types of groups, conservatives and liberals, and you could lose friends for telling them that you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. Some people associate Republican or conservative with horrible and racist, or Democrats as hypocritical and overly sensitive. But in labeling this title, you are only stereotyping one person's action to a whole body of people. Would Buddha be so quick to judge a Republican? Would Amita say that you can't go to the Pure Lands because you aren't supporting the correct side of a political debate? Would Amita tell a Democrat that you cannot go to the Pure Lands because you were too adamant that your side was the right one? One thing that I've always loved about being Buddhist is that Buddhist is not a god or a divine being who can judge you if you do something wrong. Buddha is a very compassionate teacher who makes you understand what he's doing. This made me think back to the Contemplation Sutra. Prince Ajatasattu is tricked by Devadatta into killing his father and imprisoning his mother to overtake the throne. He was blinded by revenge. After going through so much suffering, his mother, Queen Vaidehi, prays to the Buddha for help and learns about the Pure Land. When people hear the word Pure Land, they always assume I'm talking about the afterlife. But I believe that we're able to reach certain levels of purity through our actions while we're living. Devadatta was jealous of the Buddha's natural leadership, and he divided the Sangha, persuading the monks to leave the Buddha. Some people may say leaders like Devadatta have power, and they can make things happen. But Devadatta applied his practice toward developing his own supernatural power, not the process of enlightenment for everyone. Dividing the Sangha in Devadatta's time was not right. It was this division that led to destruction. In the end, it was harmful, just as in politics now, dividing the communities will not lead to a stronger, more just society. Shakyamuni's path of unifying and embracing the connectedness of all people is the path that we shall take that will lead us to oneness. I thought to myself, my friends were there when I needed them, but they're supporting somebody who I did not believe supported anyone but himself. I could have a mindset like Devadatta, where I judged them for their political belief. but I know that Amida Buddha refused to go to the Pure Land until every single human reached enlightenment. Despite all that Devadatta did, the Buddha always embraced him with kindness. I was so deep in my head that I had become friends with enemies, when in reality, I never really listened to what they had to say, and I just focused on the label. We were having a political debate in one of my classes about the situation, and a number of my peers admitted that they personally did not support Trump, but their parents did, and their parents had a very strong influence. But one thing that surprised me was that one conservative boy in my class said that he could see how the division due to the Capitol break-ins and riots was not ideal for the community, and we should work together to bring back the economy and the community with the next president. It was in that moment that I realized that we all want the same thing: peace in the world, to reach enlightenment, and the sensation of being connected. The fact that he was able to say that made me think, how could I turn my back on my friends who have been nothing but kind to me? I will not be like Devadatta, who turned his back on the Buddha. Even though one may view someone as corrupt and evil, it is important to recognize the kindness and intentions in their heart. When I looked at my friends, I did not see evil people. I saw people who I could laugh with and have fun with and share my secrets to. If I cut off our friendship, I would have taken the same path that Devadatta took. I would have been contributing to the cycle of hatred that leads to corruption. Buddha would not want me to do that, and the Girl Scouts would not want me to turn my back on those who supported me. However, they would both want me to be compassionate and keep an open mind, that one aspect of someone's life does not define them. We have learned in our class that, from a Buddhist point of view, Buddha emphasized non-discrimination and not making distinctions of good versus evil or right versus wrong. He did not artificially divide the world in a split duality. Buddha focused on emphasizing oneness in our existence. This oneness is expressed through our connectedness of people. The Buddha teaches us not to bring others down, but to find a middle path. When you're talking just to prove your point, your mind is clouded by the three poisons: greed, anger, and stupidity. If I say that one person is wrong, that means I am right. If I say one person is bad, I am implying that I am better. This notion of a split duality is very dangerous and only leads to blame and anger. I now realize that my ideas about things are not perfect and not the only right way. When I criticize people just because they don't agree with me, I only focus on the fact that I am more pure or more compassionate than they are. But the things that connect us are stronger than what divide us. And the only way we can reach enlightenment is to let go of this and embrace the connectedness we have. I decided not to hold my friends' political beliefs against them as a question of their character, just as the Buddha's followers did not reject his teachings of compassion. In Girl Scouts, I always had a voice and was able to express myself without the fear of being judged by my peers. I thought, if I were in their shoes and my Girl Scout troop judged me solely based on my views and opinions, I would become very isolated and disappointed with not only myself, but also my Girl Scout sisters. Both the Girl Scouts and the Buddhist teachings have taught me that it is not my job to judge others or question their character based on their opinions. It is my job, however, to be a good friend and keep in mind the Girl Scout law of being courageous and strong, and compassionate and caring, and most importantly, a sister to every Girl Scout. I will never forget the Girl Scout law and the Buddhist values I've learned, and I will always keep them with me. Thank you.
Namandavats, namandavats, namandavats. Everyone, let's please show our appreciation to Kelli and Sara for their wonderful reflections. I feel so much pride listening to the two of you speak. It has truly been an honor and a privilege to be one of your teachers. And thank you so much for those two wonderful reflections. You show how important it is for us to be able to not only learn our teachings, but to be able to apply them in our everyday lives, to give meaning to our everyday lives and to help us with the questions and the problems that we address. I think that all of us can learn a lot from both of you. And so I want to be the first to congratulate you on behalf of our entire Sangha for now completing all of your requirements and earning your Senior Padma Awards. Congratulations to both of you. And now I'd like to ask Kelli and Braden to please continue with our program.
Thank you, Sara and Kelli, for your insightful words.